We got a new mock draft, Heat fans. The Ringers' Kevin O'Connor dropped a full 2-round mock draft featuring 2 new draft targets for the Miami Heat that we have not previously talked about. So on today's show, I want to talk about the selections, the prospects, if they'd fit, if I'd make those picks, and get into all the nitty-gritty. But first, I got a little question. Do you want a Heat mock draft, not from ESPN, not from The Ringer, which we've done over the past week or so, but from yours truly, where I go through who I'd want Miami to pick with picks 15 and 43? If you do, hit that thumbs up icon. Goal is 150 likes. If we cross 150 likes on today's video, I'll do a mock draft on my own in the next week. All right, first pick here with pick number 15. The Heat select Rob Dillingham, the guard from Kentucky. A little bit of a stunner because he is a projected top 10 pick that I believe and many believe has no possibility of falling outside of the lottery, let alone the top 10. But let's look at what Kevin O'Connor has to say. He said that Dillingham could go a lot higher than this, but someone's got to fall, right? The Heat landed Justise Winslow on a draft night slide many moons ago. Though that didn't work out as anticipated, Dillingham could be a perfect pairing in 2-man actions with Bam Adebayo. And I'll tell you what, if this was the outcome that happened on Wednesday night, June 26th, the Heat get Rob Dillingham at pick 15, I would be absolutely ecstatic. This is just great value for Miami. It gives them a potential player at a massive need because we know that the 3 biggest needs, in my opinion, for the Heat is a backcourt shot creator that can score and create for others without needing a screen. Yeah, the 3-and-D wing, and then a floor-spacing big man to play with Bam or behind Bam. Well, Dillingham could potentially fill that first void of a athletic shot-creating guard that can create for himself and create for others. Now, there are pros and cons to Dillingham's game. The first con kind of has to deal with his size. It's not great. Without shoes, he came in at 6'1" at the NBA Combine. Plus wingspan, but it's not a plus wingspan, only 2 inches longer than his height at 6'3". But this is the number that is the most concerning when you talk about Rob Dillingham, weighed in at 164.2 pounds. That is not good. And when you think about how he could fit in the NBA and how he will be effective in the National Basketball Association, that prototype does usually not work out because you will get hunted on the defensive side. You will struggle to finish through contact and amongst the trees when you drive inside into the restricted area in the paint. So there is some concern about Dillingham's size, not only just the weight and the strength he has, but also the height, because 6'1", 6'2" with shoes is on the smaller side of guard, doesn't have the craziest wingspan. So if he is on your team, he will likely be hunted in pick and rolls and isolation settings quite a bit on the defensive side of the floor. More to get to on Dillingham, but after just seeing him at a little macro perspective, would you want to draft Rob Dillingham? Type D for draft, type P for pass. I'm going to give my answer in just a few minutes, so stick around, give yours first down below. Dillingham was fantastic at Kentucky this past year as a scorer off the bench. It was actually pretty funny that Kentucky had their 2 best guards or 2 best NBA draft prospects coming off their bench in Dillingham and Reed Sheppard. They were just a 1-2 combo coming off that Calipari bench, and he averaged 15 points a game and shot very efficiently, man. 44.4% from the 3 ball, 47.5% from the field. He finished well in college. Like, he got to the rim and was able to finish at a really high rate. But I do question his ability to do that in the NBA. And when you look at Dillingham's shot chart, efficiency, shout out at the buzzer, go give them a follow for posting this graphic. But he had a 59.5 true shooting percentage. That's great. But the thing that is the most impressive is his 3-point numbers. Coming off screens, shot 41.7%. Not a lot of volume there, but did it well when he did. Spot up threes off the catch, 54.5%. That is unbelievably good. Off the dribble 3-pointers, 37.9. That is really good for a collegiate player to be able to knock down shots off the dribble like that. He also shot really well from the line and at free throws. He was able to finish at above 50% at the rim. Like, Dillingham had a really good, efficient mark at almost every portion of his game, whether it be off the dribble, whether it be off the catch, finishing at the rim. He is a terrific scorer. He is going to be one of the better scorers, I think, from this draft class. But to me, when I look more in depth at Rob Dillingham and what his role in the NBA is, what he can do for a team, what his ceiling could be, to me, I just think it's a sixth man, and that's not a bad thing. Like, you could carve out a really nice career as a sixth man for the entirety of your career. Just think of like a Manu Ginobili type, a Jamal Crawford, a Lou Williams. Like, that at pick 15 would be terrific. Like, I'm not downplaying that role in the NBA. I just want you Heat fans to know drafting him is probably not going to net you an all-star and all-NBA caliber guard. He has a lot of nice things that he can bring to the table offensively, but he's only going to be that six-man scorer off the bench prototype due to his lack of size and lack of ability to play on the defensive end. I got a player comp coming up in just a second, but make sure you do subscribe to the channel because I'm going to bring you the best Miami Heat draft content you can find on YouTube. So subscribe today because we're breaking down boatloads of prospects in the next 21 days leading up to the NBA draft. My player comp for Rob Dillingham, Bones Hyland. And this might be, I wouldn't say controversial, but it definitely on the lower side because Bones Hyland is someone who simply cannot play in the postseason, right? We've seen him have some nice moments in Denver, in Los Angeles with the Clippers, coming off the bench and giving them a scoring boost. But that's the issue with these type of prototypes and archetypes, right? These guys can score. They're some of the best scorers in the NBA in just a one-on-one perspective, which Dillingham is. But he can't defend, and Bones Hyland can't defend. So to me, this is a very similar player where I'd take it, be a seventh, eighth man off the bench, maybe get to that sixth man of the year type of build if he really pans out. But he's not someone that I believe could be a starting point guard or a starting all-star type player for the Miami Heat, but he would be a great role player off the bench. I'd be a fan of the pick at 15. We'll get to our second round pick in just a second, but we are sponsored by Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market. I play Prize Picks on a daily basis, and you need to join me and the 5 million others that do Prize Picks on a daily basis. The NBA Finals just mean more on Prize Picks, and with it starting up on Thursday evening, you need to get your entries in for Game 1. The Stars, you can get bigger payouts with the star selections. I've got a 3-player entry, more than Daniel Gafford, 6 rebounds, more than 14.5 points for Derek White, and then less than on Jason Tatum, 27.5 points. I got this entry in over the weekend because I just was a little overexcited, if you will, but guess what? The daily specials from Prize Picks are always there because you can actually get more than a half a point on Jason Tatum when you go onto the app right now. That's an L on me, but make sure it's not an L on you. So download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100, or just go in the description and comments of today's video. Click on that link, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. That's simple. Prize Picks. Heat go with another guard / wing. Talk about that in a second here in pick 43, according to Kevin O'Connor. Terrence Shannon Jr., the guard from Illinois, the left-hander who was one of the best scorers in the entire collegiate level last year. And if you just look on pure talent that Terrence Shannon Jr. has, this pick would be an absolute steal for the Miami Heat. Shannon was dominant at Illinois a year ago, helping the Illini get to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. He was one of the leading scorers in all of college basketball a season ago. He can do it from the three-point arc. He can do it at the rim. He is a ferocious driver of the basketball, and it would be a terrific steal at pick 43. You look at his numbers, just efficient, pure bucket getter. Ironic, too, because he started his career at Texas Tech, and I didn't really view him as someone who could be this type of player, but then transferred to Illinois and started to just really grow his game, and he averaged 23. One of the nation's leading scorer last season, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, shot really well from the field. And the one thing that impressed me about Shannon Jr. is I wouldn't say like he did a James Harden type thing, but he was really good at getting to the free throw line. He put pressure on opposing defenses at the rim. He made the officials make a call, and he led the I think he was second or third in all of college basketball in terms of free throw attempts a game, just behind Zach Edey. Shannon Jr. got to the rim and either finished or got to the free throw line. We'll talk about his size, fit, and concern in just a second, but are you interested in Terrence Shannon Jr. with pick 43? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know your thoughts on Shannon Jr. down in the comment section. Shannon Jr. would be a great pick for Miami, and he has some good size off the bench as well, because he wouldn't be a starter, but I do like what he brings in terms of being versatile offensively. He handled the rock a lot for Illinois a year ago, but he can play off ball as a 2. I think he could play a small ball 3 just because of how lengthy he is and how stocky he is as well. 6'5" and 3/4 in terms of height without shoes, which means that plays at about 6'6.5", 6'7" with shoes. That will play at the 2 or the 3. Good plus wingspan, almost 6'9", 3 inches. That's good, plus 3. I love it. And then that weight is something that I just mentioned that I really like, 219.5 pounds basically. That means he won't get pushed off. And that's what allowed him to finish at the rim and draw so many fouls, is that unlike Rob Dillingham, who weighed in at 162.5, like when he gets downhill, he does not shy away from contact. He invites it and allows him to get to the free throw line, but also finish when he takes a couple bumps. Now, the one thing that is not good with Terrence Shannon Jr. is his off-court concern. Now, there is a serious matter still at hand here. Shannon Jr. was charged with rape in Kansas last November during the college basketball season, ended up playing the rest of the year as the legal proceedings has rolled on. When speaking at the NBA Combine, he told reporters that he's looking forward to my day in court, kind of signaling that he believes he is innocent. I don't know what the exact story is, but I do believe the hearing and the matter will be concluded within the next 2 weeks. I believe the hearing and the trial is set for June 10th to the 13th, so we will have a resolution prior to the NBA draft, which could improve his stock or take him off boards completely. But like I said, if you're just talking pure talent level, this guy is someone who can play in the NBA and be a good player off the bench for any type of team. It's the matter if he can actually stay on the court and if that legal procedure goes his way or not. I will say this, though, if I had to give a player comp, because I like doing that for some of these prospects so you know how they play, how I view them in their role in the NBA, just take a look at the Denver Nuggets and Christian Braun. Remember, he was a lottery pick out of Kansas 2 or 3 seasons ago for the Denver Nuggets, and I think that is a perfect fit. They're similar in height, similar in wingspan. Terrence Shannon's actually got a longer wingspan than Braun, but Braun coming off the bench is an athletic 2 and 3 who gets downhill, hits the catch-and-shoot 3 when Jokic and Jamal Murray get double-teamed, and then cleans up some misses on the offensive glass with ferocious putbacks. Shannon Jr. has the athleticism, he has the size, and the defensive capability to do a lot of the same things that Braun does for the Denver Nuggets. I think if he's there at 43 and he isn't charged and officially has that off-court concern with the rape thing, I think he would be a good pick in the NBA. So follow me on Twitter if you want more NBA draft content. At Nic_Rohloff is the handle. Talking the NBA draft and Heat basketball on a daily basis, so go give me a follow.